Which one we're gonna start?
From
Florida. I don't know. What do you guys want to start with? We'll decide.
You want to do Champions League draws?
We'll decide. Champions
That's
League draws at first?
Why not? Hit it with a bang.
Yeah.
I thought you liked that one.
All right. What is up, everybody, and welcome back to the Serie A audio experience with IFTV. We're back with this podcast, Antonio. Always, every time I start saying this, I see the smile. I don't want to start it always like this, but I see you two with some smiles on your face.
Yeah, because Milan won, so he's happy.
How you feeling about this weekend?
Well, I wanted to see at least Mourinho is out of the picture for this weekend, so
You always bring up Mourinho.
We don't have to worry about him. Let's worry about the draw of the Champions League.
Yeah.
Let's go there.
You're right, because Michael and I did a video talking about the Champions League draw, and all the comments were, where's Antonio, where's Gaetano? We want to hear their perspective. So obviously, Michael and I have already said what we think. I'll just give you a recap in case you didn't see it. I said that the night before the Champions League draw, I said I want Juventus to get Real Madrid. Even though I did say that they are the scariest team and the strongest team, I think over 2 legs, they're the best team to get. Because if you want to win, it's going to be harder to beat them in the final. And if you're going to go out, you might as well go out now and not, ruin my body when we go to the Champions League final again and have to play Real Madrid. For Roma, I think that it's extremely slim. Mike, quick.
Okay.
Just to fill them in.
Yeah, I definitely want to say for you, Juve definitely have a better chance right now than in the final because they've done it before and they could definitely do it again. I feel like Juve is more consistent in that basis rather than just one game.
And Roma?
And Roma, it's going to be tougher, but why not? It could happen, right?
Gaetano, what do you think?
Come on.
He just made the sign of the cross if you were listening on the podcast.
For which draw, though, did he do that for?
For both.
Oh, please
For
don't say
both of them.
Oh, my gosh. Come on.
Come on. There's you're playing against 2 of the best teams in the world.
Okay.
It's going to be very tough. I mean, they could do it, but it's very, very difficult.
Come on, elaborate. What do you think?
Especially for Roma. I mean, playing against Messi, whoa. The guy is magic. He's unbelievable.
We'll put Manolas on him. Don't worry about him.
It's going to be...
Not Manolas. Listen, I think the chances are not slim, but I would say they're not greater than like say Barcelona, Real Madrid. I would say 60 Barcelona, 60 Real Madrid over the Juventus and Roma. But 40% chances is not little. And a 2-game situation, I'm saying to you again, and I keep saying all the time, anything can happen. Messi might have a bad day. Maybe he had a bad meal the night before, or maybe the kids that didn't make
His
him
wife
sleep.
was spanking him, right? That's what you said last time.
Whatever the case might be.
But 2 bad games? That's gonna be tough. 2 bad games.
Listen. If De Rossi plays the way he knows how to play,
that's true.
De Rossi can make a big difference. And
like
if
that point.
they assign him to take care of Messi, not that Messi, you can guard Messi. Messi is it's all over the place.
You just hope he doesn't score.
But De Rossi knows how to position himself on the field and knows, he probably has played against Messi several times. So
yeah.
He plays well. Was facing him against when we played Argentina.
They played recently. A few years ago.
Yeah. So
what
same thing with the Juventus.
No, I was going to say Juventus. They have. Juventus can do it. They can definitely do it. The defense is one of the best defense right now. I think Buffon hasn't received 1 goal since January 1st.
Yeah.
I mean, the defense is very good. The forward line, with Costa and who's speedy. Is very fast, and with Dybala and Higuain, you're always in the game. A little doubtful at midfield. If we get a good, strong midfield that can stop the midfield of Real Madrid, I think Juventus can do it.
But before you say that, Pjanic and Benatia is going to miss the first leg due to yellow card accumulation.
Yeah.
So
it's a big problem.
That's
a big problem. You see, that's where I'm feeling a
Where
little
is
bit of
it? Who's playing home the first game? The first leg?
It's in Torino.
Juventus. Okay, what about
Juventus.
Roma and Barcelona? Who's playing home the first
I don't
one?
know.
Roma is playing away the first
Okay.
game.
You see, the thing is, to me, I think for Juventus, I wouldn't say 60-40 for both of them. I would say for Barcelona, 75% against Roma. And for Juve, I would say 55. 55 more for Real Madrid in this case. But one important point, they're both underdogs. And either way, no one's going to be like, you had to win that. If Roma, no matter what, as long as they don't get killed, they're going to go out with their heads held high. And maybe that's a good motivation factor to have for a team like Roma, who's been doing very good in the Champions League. Listen, it's Barcelona. It's slim. They're a beatable team. I think for Real Madrid, Juventus, it's a little bit more tactical. It's not as, up in the air as the Roma game is, because I really think over 2 legs, Juventus can cause Real Madrid problems. Listen, a fact. Juventus, every time they face Real Madrid in the knockout stages, have beaten Real Madrid. Over 2 legs, Juventus always wins.
So there's a great chance he's going to win again. Listen, he's in those 2 games. All you have to do, to me, if I were a coach, let's say I'm Di Francesco, I will just try to, block the playmakers of Real Madrid. Modric, to me, is one of the best players in the world, even though he doesn't score a lot of goals. But a lot of the balls of Real Madrid, they go through him all the time. It's all over the place. Mm-hmm. This guy does a job that very, very few people, they can appreciate it. Modric is one of them, for let's say, for Real Madrid. In Barcelona, we know. So in Barcelona, you have Iniesta, you got Messi, you got a lot of people.
I remember a game, Inter against Barcelona.
I was just thinking about this, too.
In Milano, where Mourinho, your friend, Mourinho, I'll bring him up. Well, he did some fantastic job. And what he did is he put 4 defenders, and then he put the 4 midfielders right in front of him. And after, I think, he was playing with 10 men because they got a red card. So he was playing with 10, and he put 4, and 1. And this 4 and 4, Messi and no space in between them. He really did a good job.
He made them play very close with each other.
Yeah, he had 4 defenders and 4 midfielders. As soon as they lost the ball, that's the way they lined up. And they did a very good job. It's not a bad tactic to use with Barcelona.
That's one of the best games I think I've ever saw. I remember us watching that together, and I remember it being a tactical masterpiece just because in the same situation, Barcelona was seen as they already won the match. It wasn't like Inter was going to be able to do an upset, and Mourinho was extremely... I think he played that game well. That's one of the games I refer to. It's a game that I watch the highlights so often.
It was lucky.
Come on, don't say it's lucky.
It was lucky too.
You got to give him credit where it's due and credit where it's not due. Come on, that's not lucky.
And listen, you got to make sure you don't water the grass for 2 weeks before so the ball doesn't slide a little bit.
Listen,
that's how Barcelona play.
It is a tough result. For Roma, I would have rather them got something else. For Juventus, it's the exact result that I wanted. Period. I think that's the best way to say it. Also, Lazio got Salzburg, Red Bull Salzburg. I know we probably don't know much about Salzburg. They did beat...
They knocked out Dortmund.
Borussia Dortmund.
Which knocked out Atalanta,
So it's not going to be an easy one for Lazio, but I think Lazio also has the team that they're... I mean, they struggled, obviously, this weekend, we know, with going on 3 fronts, but I think they're very much in this tie. And Europa League, we know that Milan's not there, so that's all.
Let me tell you something about Milan, okay?
That wasn't a shot.
Milan
wasn't a shot.
Listen to me. Milan was winning 1-0.
The referee ruined everything.
I mean, these losers, the guy with the beard, the guy on the sideline. Yeah, of course. So what happened? Not only we got our ass kicked from the Sweden, now we got even the Swedish refs against us too. So somehow we have They were Swedish.
It's not because he's Swedish.
We're not saying
the
anything. We're just
there.
Let me tell you something.
You can make all these connections.
We're going to have to retaliate against those guys. They're better not come closer over here.
Look,
No, let me say something. I know.
On a 1-0 game, on a game being 1-0, AC Milan had a great chance.
100%.
Listen, I feel you, and
we
I
didn't
agree.
have the penalty. Well, penalty were not given to us. We had a lot of chances, and then,
Listen, I'm going to say something.
I don't want to sound like a sore losers, but the game was not taken away from us. Okay?
I agree and I disagree. I agree that the referee, it was extremely poor, and it was clearly not a penalty. But I think the frustration, it's not that the referee was Swedish and he did it on purpose. Mistakes can happen. What you should look at, and in my opinion, look at Welbeck. The culture of teaching these kids to dive, and you're part of the problem because when Cutrone scores with his hands, you say it's good. No, you too. You too. Yeah, you guys support it when he does that. That's what. Listen, I did not. I 100% wanted Milan. I'm just saying, and it's nothing against Cutrone or anything. I think that these kind of diving, everybody who falls so easily, they're more to blame because they intentionally did it. The referee, I don't think he intentionally didn't call it. He just made a mistake. It's not acceptable. VAR should be used. But also, Arsenal were just better afterwards.
Listen, Çalhanoğlu on the first leg, it was fouled, but he held himself up. He could have just let himself go on the ground.
Talking about.
Okay, so then
why didn't he do it? because we're
'Cause
not
he's a
dishonest.
diver.
AC Milan.
Listen,
is
people
not
like
a-
you, they deserve calls against their team. If you want your guy to dive, then you deserve to get a
No, I
back
mean,
call.
I'm not saying that Çalhanoğlu should have dived. They didn't dive. So now for this guy here to be punishing us this way, and everybody knew
Welbeck
it.
wasn't touched. He wasn't touched.
Ricardo
If you go back,
Rodriguez did not touch him.
if you go back to the video,
Yeah.
he's not touched.
Yeah, he fell on his own.
He fell on his own. He
dove.
dove.
Who?
Welbeck.
Welbeck.
That's what I'm saying.
That's what I'm
Yeah,
saying.
we're saying the
We
same thing.
agree.
And I want to say something about the English media.
Oh.
The next day, they did criticize Welbeck in the front,
Which they should have.
and the front page. They did say there's a shame on you for diving, and which is something that you have to commend them for that. It doesn't happen. Not too many other news media would have said that in the front page.
Nobody protested it.
That's what
the ref was.
can't know.
The ref was close enough.
There
not
was a
to-
linesman
to
right in
make
front
the-
of him,
not
though.
to
Right
make,
in
to make
front
the
of
call on
him.
his own. Why did he go to the
Just
linesman?
take the reverse of the situation. Imagine it was an Italian player who dove. The things that would be said about
Oh,
Serie
we'll never
A
hear the
and
end of it.
Italian football.
You'll never hear the
But
end
when it
of it.
happens one way,
true.
it's not always reciprocated.
2 feet ahead of him. There was
Listen,
a third round.
either way, I don't think I think the referee just genuinely made a mistake. I think that Welbeck fooled him. I think the problem is Welbeck and players who
The
dive
thing is,
like this.
Milan, it was 2-1
and
on aggregate.
it's accepted.
If they didn't give that penalty,
like you
anything
said,
would happen.
putting it on the front page, that shows. And he should be. I would suspend this guy for 35 games. They would never. Not one player
35
would. What are you
games.
laughing at?
That's a whole season almost.
Exactly. You dive. You are cheating the game. You make a statement like this.
No,
You make a
cheating,
statement.
You're disrespecting the game.
You make a statement like this,
That's a long
you will see
time.
that no one will ever dive. You think if a kid watches on TV and he won't dive, he's gonna be like, I'm gonna be out a whole season. 35. Make one example. That's what they do in
Sure.
court, right?
Even 5
Wha-
games will do it. 5
Nah,
games.
35 games. I'll go to 30.
Five? You
I'll go-
crazy. You know how
1
many
year
games that
suspension.
is?
You say 1 year suspension.
Whatever.
Yes, you got a
It doesn't need to be
different
30.
job.
I'll give him 20. Whatever.
20 games. All right.
That's
Really.
That's
Anyway.
a long time.
Anyway, did you have anything to add to that?
No.
Okay.
No, that's it.
Let's go into the Serie A, where we had a weekend which was filled of up and downs.
Amazing.
Let's start out with an up for Inter, who beat Sampdoria 5-0. Finally, the Inter that Inter fans have been looking for in 2018. They had these, 2 or 3 months, right, of not being able to get a
inconsistency.
result. Today they came out. Icardi scored 4 goals. He has 103 goals in the Serie A altogether.
What
That's pretty
surprised
crazy.
me is just Sampdoria lately. It's been losing against even the last of the group. I don't understand what's going on with them.
Right? Marco,
9
what
goals
score?
in the last 2 games. 4 to Crotone and 5 to Inter.
That's too many.
Yeah, that's
too
insane.
many.
Yeah,
Something is going on
yeah.
over there because
Yeah.
Sampdoria all the way up, to 3 weeks ago was one of the best teams in
And
the
they beat
Serie A.
Juventus too that
Sure.
time.
So
Yeah.
something is up.
Oh, you have to throw that in there.
Had to.
You see? This is what I deal with every day. Bias. Anyway. What were you
No,
saying?
what I would like to say about Inter is, the defense is coming along. I think that he's putting Spalletti. Maybe they started listening to Spalletti and the way he wants to play. Miranda did a good job.
Oh, wait. Let me plug it real quick.
Oh,
Guys,
okay.
I'm going to throw it on the screen. Our 5 Calcetto teams. In case you didn't see it last podcast, who do you vote for? Just comment it down below and then continue watching the podcast. That's all I'm going to say. It was from the last one. Anyway,
And
continue.
no, I think that they
You
can
can say that I was the one that I got most of the
Okay,
votes.
Antonio had 1 more vote than Gaetano. I was
my
3rd,
God.
and then Michael had no
The
votes.
thing is, I voted for myself, so I don't know if you counted that or not. I don't believe that.
Continue.
Recount.
Antonio got mad. Look, he's mad. He's mad that we didn't say that. You won.
I won.
You
Yeah,
won.
guys, I
You
won.
won. You won. Okay.
So, no, I was saying that the Inter is coming along. We had talked about Rafinha a few weeks ago, and I said that he was the right player for this team, and he needed some time. And I think yesterday you could see that he was dictating the tempo of the game. He's got a nice touch. He knows how to make that last pass. He's got skills. He is a complete player. And in the midfield, also this Gagliardini, he's trying to settle down with
He struggled in the
Brozovic.
beginning.
They did a pretty good job. And Barcavallero and Vicino, which before they were playing, now yesterday they were on the bench. So maybe he's changing things around. And yesterday it all worked out.
Was this Inter being very good or Sampdoria being very bad?
It's a combination. It's all of the above.
I think
Yeah, I
something
agree.
happened in Sampdoria that I don't know. It's crazy.
I-
Sampdoria were a team that always
Icardi
shot at home at the Luigi Ferrari.
Icardi is scoring with the back of
That
his
was
foot.
beautiful.
Come on.
Listen, Icardi, is he the best finisher in the Serie A? Finisher.
Inside the area
Finisher.
is one of the best.
Anything, guys, 4 goals. It's
Inside the
ridiculous.
area,
His
that's
shoes even had
unbelievable.
100 goals on them afterwards. He switched them
yeah?
at halftime, and he put 100 on his shoes because he knew what was going to happen. Listen, Icardi is one of the best, 22 goals this season. 2 behind Ciro Immobile.
Is it 2? He's
2.
catching up, huh?
It's 2.
Jeez.
Listen, the night before, I was about to make a graphic on the top goal scorers. I was like, all right. Like, it's so far ahead, Ciro Immobile, and then Icardi scores 4 goals, so it was pretty ridiculous.
And he's probably not going to be in the Argentina national team.
Listen, this guy went to France now. He's like
Yeah.
hanging out in Paris and stuff. He's got so much free time.
They didn't call him up?
No, they didn't call him up.
Oh, didn't
I
Spalletti
didn't know.
say? Spalletti
Oh, yeah.
said something.
I didn't know.
Spalletti, they asked Spalletti, like, isn't it ridiculous that Icardi's not called up? He goes, no, it's good for me. He's like, I hope he doesn't get called up.
Yeah.
So he was happy. Yeah, I think for Inter, it was the win that they needed. But again, like I quoted last video, this tweet from Siavush. You remember in the Italian bar that we were at, and my friend came in. I said, I know this guy from Twitter. You guys were talking about Inter,
In Sweden.
the journalist in Sweden.
Yeah.
Yeah, Siavush. He tweeted this, and I thought it was pretty relevant. He tweeted a quote from Mourinho, which said, I'd rather win 5 games 1-0 than 1 game 5-0.
Yeah, I know.
He's an Inter
that
fan.
guy, of course.
Wait. That's a smart idea.
All right,
All
that
right.
takes away from the beauty of soccer. 2-0, 3-0 is better than 1-0. So
For
anyway,
you, maybe. For
You
me,
know-
I like that.
yeah, let's look at again what happened last week. I mean, Juventus 0-0 against Spal.
He's bringing it,
going right
Marco.
to it.
and Napoli winning a miserable 1-0.
You gotta have those games though. Sometimes you can't be
Listen.
winning.
Wait,
2-0
before-
every
This
game.
is telling you that the pressure is building up on both teams. Juventus has
course.
got it's been stretched out between the champions and the campionato.
Yeah, and Coppa
Sarri,
Italia.
look at the body language of Sarri. I was watching the game a little bit.
Don't
He-
jump from one game. Let's
Yeah,
go one game at a
yeah.
time.
Well, Juventus to me.
He said,
Listen,
I got the whole thing over here.
I
You're jumping
don't
from
have
one
to take
thing.
notes.
You can-
Antonio,
I don't
talking to
take
the
no-
mic. These poor guys can't hear.
Juventus,
there we go.
Juventus. I see a little. Some of the players are getting a little tired, especially the offensive line over there. I mean, if the ball doesn't click, Higuain is okay, but then
Marco, he's shooting shots
Yeah.
right here. Shots
good,
fired.
I'm good.
Spal been one of the last team coming up to Serie A. They give them hard time, and they did not deserve to lose.
Could you imagine what Milan's gonna do to Juve in that case,
Yeah,
right?
so now Inter, likely they found Sampdoria in a very bad time, and Sampdoria has been struggling even against one of the last
Yeah,
on the
Crotone.
Serie A.
Crotone, yeah.
So it was lucky time. Unfortunately for us, for AC Milan, we're going to be facing them soon, and I wish we would have faced them maybe 2 weeks ago.
That's
when,
what everyone keeps saying. All the Milan fans are upset that the game never happened. They're like, look, Inter's starting to do a little bit better. And then the games are getting tougher and tougher, but either way.
So it's good for us.
Before we started
That
the
we watch.
podcast, I saw the interview of Allegri, and Allegri basically has been saying that we have to just the next 2 weeks they're going to be really key or crucial for the future of our season, the way it's going to be played out. In other words, if we're in. See, this is what I don't like about Allegri. He should be saying, we are in and we are planning
He's
to
taking
go.
the pressure off.
What pressure off?
It's a tactic. It's what he's done all season. As Napoli's been up, he keeps saying, "Oh yeah, look, we're behind. We're just gonna stay there." It's not like he says this to the squad. He just says it to the media. Allegri is one of the best at handling the media. He shows no emotion. He takes all the pressure off his team. He's like, "Oh yeah, listen, it's incredible to win 7 in a row. If we don't, it's okay. If not, we're gonna be there, and it's gonna be credit to Napoli." That's what he says every single week. There's no point of even listening to what he says. He's never going to slip up.
Listen,
he sticks to his script,
Allegri
and that's
after the game, he was not happy. Believe me, when he went down to the
Would
to
you
the
be
locker
happy
room.
0-0 Spal? Listen, before we get to that, because we want to keep the suspense for Napoli and Juve, we'll go to the other games first and then go to that. Not too much to say, but we got to give credit to Roma. 2-0 over Crotone. A game which, again, didn't have too much involved. Nainggolan was the captain. Roma getting the job done once
Staying
again.
in third place, yeah.
El Shaarawy on the score sheet. Listen, for Roma, I think their focus is definitely on the Champions League and staying in
third position.
in the third position. I don't think anyone's going to knock Roma off.
They're only a few points though, so I think Inter's right behind them.
Yeah, what I would like to say a few things about Roma. I think that's 6 wins in a row, something like
yeah.
that. So they finally, and I'm going to say something. good. It's gonna make you happy. Okay.
My favorite.
Manolas is he played. He's good.
Isn't he
He's-
always
he's-
though?
he's
Isn't he
doing-
always
he's
good?
doing
Not always.
But I
No
want to
one's
say
always.
something
Except
about
Buffon.
Alisson. Man, this guy.
He's
is-
phenomenal.
This guy is some
Yeah,
keeper.
it's a cool
The best keeper in the Serie A in form right now.
He is a very
Wrong.
good. And Fazios has been doing good. I mean, the team, maybe they're following now what De Francesco. If you remember a couple of weeks ago, no, I think it's 6 wins out of 7 games.
Yeah, something like that.
6 wins out of 7 games because they lost that game against Milan.
Mm-hmm.
And you remember after that game against Milan, they wanted to sack, get rid of De Francesco. This is not good. And I guess they following him.
They beat Napoli too.
Yeah.
So huge
Yeah,
results. for them. They're doing good.
They stayed with him, and the team is coming along.
That's true. Barcelona, watch out.
And
It's gonna be a good one.
also that kid Under.
Under. Very good.
He's doing.
He's a good player.
He is doing good. So good for Roma.
Out of 21 league games for Roma, they only lost 1 match away from home, and that was to Juventus. So Roma is doing good. First game is away at the Camp Nou, so hopefully they can continue this away streak over there. Next match we'll go to, because we do have some controversy, the Lazio game. 1-1, Lazio, Bologna. And a match where before the game, Lazio fans protested. First 15 minutes, they stood outside the stadium in protest of VAR. And they put a sign also. They went to Figici's building, which is the building of the Federation, and they protested with a sign that said Vargogna. So they're very upset. They think that Lazio is treated extremely differently than every other team in the Serie A. While I feel for their frustrations, I think they're wrong. I get why Lazio fans would want to be upset, but what is waiting 15 minutes to go inside the stadium really do against your team? You think it's really going to send a message? It's just not supporting your team for 15 minutes.
I mean, protesting helps too, but it depends on how long you do it.
I don't think that Lazio specifically, even though they have so many calls against them and they should be mad, it's nothing like that's directly against Lazio.
But
Inzaghi said they would have been higher in the table if all those
Everyone
calls
would be.
wouldn't be against them.
I'm Team Lazio, but everyone would be.
He shouldn't be complaining, but there has been a lot of calls against Lazio, and I feel bad for them because they have such a great squad and they've been very consistent. lately.
What do you think about that?
I can't believe that we how many millions of dollars are involved every Sunday when the teams are coming into the field, and because of this VAR here, can create a lot of problems. I've got to be sincere with you, all of you. You have to have 5 or 6 people, expert of the game, maestri of the game, like scholars, that they're going to be sitting on one room and they're going to watch every game. And every time a situation presents itself, they're going to look at it and they're going to say, hey, out of 10, 8 said that it's a penalty. 2 said maybe not. In that particular case, you make the phone call down to the field and they said, hey, 8 out of 10 said it's a penalty. It's a penalty. End of the story. End of the story.
What do you think?
Inzaghi criticized the VAR because he said
I think he was right.
He's taking too much time
Yeah.
to decide.
Not just that.
To decide the call. Well, that was his criticism. I think the most important thing is to get the call right. So if you have to waste another 30 seconds, so be it. Let it waste. I see some fouls from outside the area. It takes 2 minutes before they kick the ball. So you can wait 30 seconds, another 30 seconds. But to me, the most important thing, get the call right. So they need, like we said in the past, they need to work on that. He also said that his team was coming from the Europa League, and it was 48 hours. He didn't have much time to get the team, and also Radu and Ulic. I think they were very tired.
It looked like Lazio was tired.
Yeah, it was
That's what I
tired.
thought.
That's what he said. But Lazio, they played. When the whole team is there with Milankovic, they're good. They're good.
I don't mind Lazio
like
losing a little bit because AC Milan needs to catch up. So
What do you think about?
I just hope they slip up a little bit. Cutrone, by the way, Cutrone is on the national team.
We'll talk about the national
okay,
team.
sorry.
Soon. Don't worry. No, I'm just saying. I'm leaving anticipation.
Okay.
Forget about Lazio. Beat Inter.
Oh, don't worry about
If
Inter.
you
Don't worry.
want to go in the Champions League.
We will see about Inter. We'll see.
Yeah. Lazio, Immobile didn't score. He didn't get the score, but I think that they look like they were tired. They had the Europa League, and they had all this stuff. Speaking about your Milan, Andre Silva, again, coming in clutch. Second game in a row in the Serie A, and this guy scores late onto the match and gets the winner. This is a tough one for you because you were down at one point in this match.
I know. I didn't watch the game. That's why I asked your father. I was traveling to New Jersey to see our friend, and I said, "Yo, what's happening with AC Milan?" Oh, they were 1-0, and then they were losing 2-1. I said, "Oh shit!" I said, "I just hope that we tie the game." Then we got over there. We got over there, and we won the game. So I said, "Oh, that's great. That's great."
So you saw the end, towards the end.
Oh no, I didn't see anything. I saw the highlights at the end.
Okay.
I was happy that AC Milan won, of course.
And that your boy Andre Silva scored.
Another winner, back to back, right?
Yeah.
Listen, Andre Silva is somebody that needs to be evaluated technically by the European team, because AC Milan might be a good fit for not for AC Milan but for other teams. Montella has been begging them to give to take the player and send him to Sevilla. Okay, so AC Milan needs to just put some value on the player. If the guy develops to be a very good player, they're gonna keep him. But if he doesn't, if you don't play the kid, how they're gonna find out what kind of skills the kid has and what kind of improvement teams they can they can make on the kid. You don't want to invest money without having seen the kid playing. So that's why, I think it's important. Gattuso is going to give him a lot of play time. So for the next,
And he
few
spoke
games.
highly of him, too, Gattuso, after the
So,
match. He said some nice things about Andre Silva, how he's training, how he's always the last one that leaves, that he's always looking, after training, after they do physical work, he wants to do more, and he's always asking questions. So it takes time, to adapt from, where's he coming, Portugal, to adapt to the Serie A and to adapt to life. So he's young.
I mean, he was a starter for Porto. He was so young, and he's also a starter for the Portuguese national team. And Ronaldo always talks good things about him. So I'm sure he's a good player. He just needs time to adapt. The Serie A is very hard, especially
It's
for
funny, though.
strikers.
It was funny that when he wasn't scoring, because, look, now they put Kalinic out, and look what's happening.
Oh,
They
yeah,
got
that
Andre
was
Silva
Kalinic
score.
too,
Yeah,
right?
so Kalinic was left off apparently because he wasn't training well. And then Gattuso after the match, he didn't say directly, but he said anyone who doesn't listen to what I say in training, they stay home. And he said, under me, nobody is above anyone else in my squad.
Gattuso was like that even when he was a player. I saw an interview with Billy Costacurta, was one of the best AC Milan defender. He played with Baresi, he played with Maldini, with Tassotti. At the national team, the guy was the top, one of the top stopper and a sweeper when Baresi left. So anyway, Costacurta said these few words. He said, when Gattuso, talking about Kalinic, he said, when Gattuso was on the field, Gattuso made sure that everyone just to put their stance out to the last ball, taking all the ball that they were going out, even knowing that they would never make it to the ball. They had to try to make it to the ball, but not even give up on the play. Giving up on the play was never an option for somebody wearing the AC Milan shirt. So, and that's what he wants all of those young kids to do.
I feel like the only thing Kalinic had going for him was his good attitude and him working
What are you
hard.
saying? At Fiorentina, he was awesome.
No, I'm saying now at Milan. Like, the only thing he had was being good and, like, running. And now what's he acting like a prima donna in training? I don't think it's the best. It's not like you're Zlatan, who you're bagging in goals every weekend and they begging for you.
Apparently, there's rumors that during scrimmage, he was part of, like, the B team, and he knew he wasn't going to start, so he wasn't trying very hard. And that's when Gattuso was like, that's it.
Now, that's when you have to try harder.
Yeah, exactly.
That shows you.
Hopefully he sees this podcast so he learns for next
He's
time.
not going to see
right?
this
You
podcast.
don't know that.
Hopefully he doesn't. I love you, Kalinic.
The rest of the team is listening to him. I
That's
mean,
true.
he's got that ability to convince the players, and he's got that
A lot of forks too, right?
Yeah, he's got that will to work very, very hard and to fight for every ball. And they're listening at the high pressure, and I guess he's training them. I'm sure he's training them very hard. So that's one thing that Gattuso has. So we got to give him credit for that.
Can we go back on the Real Madrid Juventus one more time? I just was thinking, who would you assign to take care of Cristiano Ronaldo? Would you put
Scudetto.
Would you put somebody particular on top of him, or just you would just double up on him, or?
Deshiyu on Ronaldo. It's going to be
No
epic.
way. You got to put three people on him. Or Lichtsteiner. I trust him.
Well, they don't play man-to-man anymore, so they play zone. So whichever, Ronaldo goes everywhere. So if he's on the Chiellini side, I'm sure Chiellini is gonna stay on top of
Chiellini
him.
might miss the first leg too with an
yeah.
injury.
Oh.
Maybe
man.
he got injured.
Jesus.
So whoever is on that side, who's gonna play in the middle?
Rugani.
Oh my.
Rugani, Barzagli. I'm assuming.
Barzagli.
This is if. I don't know. I haven't seen the
Rugani.
latest news,
This is
but
hurting
I
me.
heard that there was a risk of Chiellini not being there, and we know Benatia is not there. So I'm assuming
Rugani is too
Barzagli.
young. He's too green to take care of
Barzagli.
Ronaldo.
Barzagli, Rugani.
Rugani.
On the left, Alexandro. On the right, Leach or
Yeah,
Deschillo.
yeah,
Better be Leach time.
yeah.
man. Better be.
I'm sure they'll do a good job. They'll do a good job on him.
What about you? You brought this question. You got a guy in mind?
Me, I would put. I will just make sure that Cristiano Ronaldo doesn't have a lot of ease coming all the way down over here. I will just put somebody just on him.
Marquisio.
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 That's my man.
Marquisio.
That's my man.
There's a famous
He
thing
doesn't
where
have a-
Marquisio harassing him every single in every square inch of the field that he goes around.
there's a famous clip that always goes around online, and it's Cristiano Ronaldo. You know, he always does his tricks. He tries to beat Marquisio, and this was from the last 2 seasons ago, and Marquisio just cleanly takes the ball away from Ronaldo. And there's a lot of clips of Chiellini do the same thing. I think Marquisio finally, you're gonna see him, especially with Pjanic
You
out.
think he's gonna start?
But that's not here nor
I
there.
hope so.
We still
I
got
hope so.
a long time to go. All right, let's talk what we've been waiting to talk about.
Oh, the big matches.
Spal came out
Yes.
with incredible grinta.
Grande Spal.
They started this match. I never thought I would have seen Spal take this game to Juventus. Juventus never caught up. They never matched what Spal had. They never took over. And I would say rightfully so, Spal got a 0-0 draw against Juventus.
Great defensive game from Spal. And against those teams, against Genoa, Spal, they said if you don't score right away in the beginning, then you keep going, it gets harder and harder. And those teams, then they the first half is over, and they think maybe we can get a point out of it. So the game, and they very defensive. They say everybody stays back and they fight, and I must admit they did play a nice defensive game. Dybala didn't do much. Higuain didn't do much in that game. But let's.
They did a post, right? I think they did post Juventus.
Yeah. Wait, did they? I don't remember.
I think so. They
But
did.
let's give credit to Spal for playing and going forward. I think because now every point is very
valuable.
valuable, crucial. Everybody's gonna come out, and so you playing against Spal, or you playing against Crotone, you playing against Genoa. Look at Genoa. They hang there until the end. So
This is the
It's
attitude
good.
that, as much as I love it and I hate it at the same time, this is the attitude a lot of the smaller teams need to take when they approach, not just sit back and beg for something. I mean, Spal was going at it. It was a very different approach to what Genoa had, and I think the result plays a part in this. Genoa were sitting back a lot more and conceding a lot more rather than how Spal were. Spal, I felt like they were going for it. They wanted to win. Genoa, to me, I kept saying, I said, you guys are sitting back way too much. They gave Napoli too many opportunities for me. And Spal, like you said, their last few games, they got 3-2 win over Crotone, 1-1 over Sassuolo, 1-0 over Bologna, and now 0-0 over Juventus. These are precious 6, 7, 8 points.
They haven't lost in the
right
past
here.
4 games, and if you're in relegation, that is huge.
It's huge for a team
Yeah.
like that. And the relegation battle in Italy, the competition in Italy is ridiculous compared to every other league. We got Scudetto race, we got Champions League race, and we got relegation
and
battle.
Europa League, throw that in there.
It's crazy how competitive it is.
It's the most balanced league right now.
Yeah, this season for sure.
It's crazy. Besides Benevento, everybody else is.
But that's why there is no easy team, like we said before. You still have to just go over there and perform and put the ball behind the,
Yeah, of course. That's
in the
tough.
net. That's it. So
What about Napoli?
Napoli, I have to be sincere with you, disappointing. I see Napoli playing so much better than the way they've been playing lately. I mean, the way when they scored the goal, when Albiol scored the goal, I saw a pile of 20 people right on top of me like they won the World Cup. Who they were playing? They were playing a miserable team.
That's a precious point.
But that's a pressure point. But, that shows you. I
3
understand
points.
you're beating Juventus, or you're beating AC Milan, or you're beating Inter or Roma. But you score against a team like that, a Genova, and you have a pile of 20 people
course.
on the top of Albiol.
Come on, I was ready to agree with you. I thought we were going in the same
Well,
direction. And
listen.
now we disagree.
But do you know that Genoa has got more points away than home
Yes.
when they play away? So
Listen, Genoa, when I saw Pepito Rossi come in,
Oh, that was great.
I said, here it is.
That was great.
I said, Giuseppe Rossi,
That-
we're going to
I
have
was-
our New York connection, and he's
listen,
going to come in and get a 1-1.
As much as I wanted Napoli to win the Campionato, I wanted Giuseppe Rossi to score.
It would have been
It,
so
wa- it
beautiful.
was nice seeing him, but yeah, I was scared because Napoli kept in the post like, oh my god, don't tell me they're not gonna capitalize when
They
Juventus
had
drop
like 15
points.
posts.
I was screaming, and then Albiol comes. Yeah, they hit a few posts.
thing I had to
and
deal
then
with
he
this
scores,
guy.
I was going crazy.
It was
Now
kinda
it's
lucky
only
too,
2
the goal. It was kinda
doesn't
lucky.
Can I
matter.
say something
You
about the
have lucky
goal?
games every time.
Can I say something about the goal? And I'm not going to be complaining,
Oh, man.
but,
I don't
and I'm
even
going to
do
show you
this.
guys a clip. I can't show it on the video. Look at this.
It wasn't lucky.
Just watch what Koulibaly does on this. Look where his hands are
On the top of the guys.
before the goal. You guys tell me what you think. Look. He pushes him.
You know all the stuff that happens in the box, that is nothing. Come
Okay,
on.
but-
I see people going headlocks,
Oh, yeah.
hitting
Oh,
people.
yeah.
I'm not here to play.
Come
I know
on.
I'm not gonna blame them, but is it not a
You know
foul?
how much stuff
Is it
happens
not a
in the
foul?
box that they don't call, and you're saying
They,
this
they
a
deserve
foul?
to win.
Foul.
That's a foul. What do you think?
Are you
Absolutely.
kidding me?
It looks like a
Get
foul.
outta here.
Absolutely.
Listen, I'm just saying. All I'm saying, I'm not upset. I'm not. I know this happens. I'm not saying that Napoli are favored. But just imagine if this happened for Juventus in the same situation where they beat Genoa 1-0 in the
It happens
80th
to every
minute.
single
No.
team.
But I'm just saying, just imagine this would be the image that we see on every front page. I'm just saying. I'm not mad. It happens. I'm just saying everybody see two perspectives. Because if this happened to Juventus, we wouldn't start the podcast with all this fun talk. The only thing that we were talking about is this.
Juventus got to share plenty of things.
Oh.
I know.
Shoot is
But
coming
not as
out.
favorism. But not as
Shoot is
favorism.
coming out.
Not as favorism.
Oh,
No, not as
I thought I had to say
favorism.
that.
Not as
No, no.
favorism.
AC Milan
You
is
see?
the only one that never gets anything.
Yeah,
for
AC.
free.
Cutrone hit it with his hand, bro. This guy's playing
Ronaldo
volleyball.
last never gets the credit he deserves.
What are
I
you
said
talking
it.
about?
I said it.
Okay, you're the only sane one in this group right now.
Gaetano, tell Marco that
Just
he's crazy about
speak.
this Juve.
I want to hear you. Everything that we just screamed and this.
well, if you're gonna go see every replay possible, like you said before, there's gonna be a lot to see, a
Thank
lot
you.
to find out. Some things are missed. That was missed, but that's not the only thing that was missed.
But if it happened to
Perfect.
Juventus, would this be more talked about? Because
Yeah.
you guys didn't hear about
Come
this.
on.
I want to hear their perspective. What would you say?
Yeah, probably when you're on top. Yeah, you always have.
Napoli's 2 points away.
Yeah, you always have the focus on you. But
Just saying.
Yeah, you're just saying.
I'm just saying.
it happens to
Who's
every
Napoli
team.
play
Come
next
on.
week?
I'll check right now.
Listen.
Listen.
Next week we have the Nazionale, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
We got to
it's-
talk about the Nacional.
We'll have a what's it called. But before let's finish the Scudetto talk. Was this the weekend? All the questions that we got asked a million times. The question that's been on social media saying, last week we said it was a week that Napoli lost to Scudetto, right? You guys have been Juventus are winning the Campionato, blah blah blah. Is this a week that Juventus lost the Campionato?
no, absolutely not.
By far.
It's so funny to see how everybody differs. If you check on internet, it would be like, I swear to you, I forgot because I was on my phone reading everybody's comments. Everybody was replying on our Instagram right away. I thought that Napoli were 2 points ahead of Juventus. I literally forgot that Juventus is still 2 points ahead. That's how optimistic everybody is that Juve lost to Scudetto this week.
Absolutely not.
But do you guys know the schedule that Juve and Napoli have left?
We just spoke about how Spal and all these harder teams.
I know.
Everybody's.
I'm just saying, Juve have a tougher schedule. Juve still have to play Milan.
We know, but Mike, you repeated this
Sampdoria,
like 3 times the
Napoli,
last 3
Inter,
podcasts.
And Roma. And
We
Napoli
said
only have
this.
to play Milan, Juve, Fiorentina, Torino, and Sampdoria.
Listen,
Yeah,
Juventus against the big team, it brings the A game all the time. So
But
against a
also-
small team like Spal, and they don't probably they relaxed a little bit. That's why they got the draw.
The argument is, and I see this as hypocritical, they say if Napoli want to win, they have it in their hand because if they won every
true.
single game, they would. It's true that
Exactly.
Juventus have the same thing.
No, exactly.
Juventus,
That's what I'm
if they
saying.
win every game, they win.
I'm not saying
They're
no.
both like I said last week when they were 5 points. It's gonna flip. Napoli's gonna go one more time on top, and then Juventus is gonna go, and that's it.
That's
And that's
what
how
you
it's gonna.
think. That's
That's
what
what I
you think.
think. Do I
And
feel
you're
nervous?
wrong.
Yes, of course I feel nervous. It's only
Because
2
you're
points.
wrong. Because you're wrong.
And there's a lot of big teams to play.
Mark my word, if Juventus goes out of the Champions League, I hope not,
Ooh.
Oh,
Don't say
Juventus wins the campionato.
that's
But
a good
if Juventus
point.
stays on,
Napoli
might
Napoli's
take
time
it.
to shine.
You
Napoli
change
might
every
take-
time. When I called you yesterday, you said you've had
Wait a
the
moment.
week before. It's been over.
No,
Every
being-
day you change.
being what I saw last
You're like
week.
Michael.
We
No,
got
no.
us-
Michael
what do you
in
mean?
his preview video,
If
he talked-
Juventus,
That was at the beginning of the
stays
season.
on, if Juventus goes forward on the champions, they eliminate the Real Madrid.
you and Michael, your
That was
brothers.
8 months
E-
ago.
Every
That was
every
8
every
months
week,
ago.
every week,
Now-
Michael's changes who's gonna win the
because of the
That was
schedule.
8 months ago,
Who he
liar.
wants to win is the same, but who he thinks is gonna win is
listen,
changes.
because of the schedule, Juventus, if they lose against Real Madrid, they win in the campionato, hands down.
This is what I want. Juve to win the Champions League and Napoli
Dad,
to
what
win
do you
the
think?
Scudetto.
What
And
do you
Milan
think?
to win
That-
the
I want all.
Coppa
I want all
Italia.
three.
I agree
All
with that.
three.
I
All
was signed-
three.
I was signed for
all
that.
three.
Me too. Come on.
Hey, you
let's
guys
go,
signed
let's
for
go.
that. I'm not signing for that. I
You're
want
gonna
all
get
three.
nothing at the end. Watch,
No, I'm
you
not
know,
gonna get
no.
nothing.
I just hope Juventus wins on the Champions because AC Milan will have a chance on the Coppa Italia.
Yeah,
so
yeah, agreed.
we will find some Juventus player, half banged up, and we need that too. So
What do you think? Anything else you got to say about that?
No, I mean I would be shocked if Napoli goes and Torino and wins the game.
That'd be amazing.
Yeah,
Not
I mean
amazing.
Juventus did it in Napoli, but the other way around. I mean, for them to win the Scudetto, they have to go to Torino
And win it.
and show me what you got
Exactly.
in
Yeah.
that game.
If they go to Torino and take the 3 points, they're
Then it's over.
showing, they're
Okay.
putting their foot down.
It's over. You guys, now it's over. This is over. It's not over. Tomorrow morning I'm going to call you and say, no, edit the podcast. I didn't want to say that.
No, and I think still Juventus, they're used to this pressure. I mean, they doing it every year. Last
course,
year,
yeah.
there was
14 points.
4
2
years in a
ago.
row
Yeah,
that
yeah.
they are in the final of the Coppa Italia.
Something like that. Yeah, I think it's 4 years.
6 Scudettos, 2 finals in the Champions League.
that,
So the players, and that
well said
that
by
means a lot.
Gaetano. What is the worst that is going to happen to Juventus? That they lose one campionato every 10 years? Big deal. Let them, let somebody else, show that Italy is still alive and we have.
It's still
we
alive.
have
You see
some
the race?
competition, Yes.
It's the only race that's alive.
So I think the pressure is still on Napoli.
I
Right
agree.
now, the pressure I think is still on
I
Napoli.
agree.
I don't know if
Let's
that's a good
see.
thing. I
Let's
don't know if
see.
that's a good thing from a Juventus fan perspective. Last thing we'll say about the Serie A, Torino fans, you guys might not have known. Oh, actually, one other thing. Cagliari in their match, they were losing. In the 92nd minute, they scored. 97th minute, they scored and won the game. So that was
Against
pretty crazy.
Benevento.
Against Benevento.
In Benevento.
Benevento had 1 point. 92nd minute, 92nd, and then 97th minute, they lost it. Same thing happened with Torino, the reverse. Similar times that Torino lost the match. Torino fans held this banner that I'll read off. Well, you guys can read it. It's in Italian.
I can't.
It says, "You guys only think about money. On the field, you don't even fight anymore." And then towards the that was towards the team, and now towards the president. Very little money spent, yet you speak a lot. The reality is that this is a Torino which is really not that good. We're nostalgic of a Torino that no longer exists.
Well said.
For
Grande Torino used
Exactly.
to be
That was the
that
best
hit
team in the
home.
world.
That hit home.
The thing is, Mihailovic, when he was still coach here, he kept Belotti. He kept their star, man. He kept the biggest players. And
Belotti
look what
scored.
he's doing. And look what he... well, he's
That
not there
was-
anymore. But look at Torino. They have such great players, and they can't put together a good team for
That
Europa
was,
League.
that
at
was
least.
The
hurtful.
problem of Torino is that they have to coexist with a team like Juventus, and it hurts every time that Juventus.
They're
win,
not in the
Torino.
same city.
But no,
They're not even in the
still.
same league.
But they are the same city. You know how many? Oh, the
That's not an
tifoseria is
excuse.
Yeah.
the
That's not an
tifoseria
excuse.
in Torino only is split 50-50.
Yeah, no, it's more Torino.
It used to be more Torino, at least.
Whatever.
Juventus got a lot more fan in Italy, but
Yeah,
Torino's
exactly.
got a big.
Yeah,
fan
bigger
base.
Torino.
Yeah.
For Torino fans, you got to feel for them. I mean, there was a
Sure.
point where we were talking about Torino for Europa League. Michael, you had them as your dark
I had that
horse.
dark. I thought they were going to do what Sampdoria is doing right now. I thought they were going to go up against the odds.
Listen, they had no Belotti who scored. Last year, Belotti was one of the top goal scorers in the league. That's a big difference between 5 or 6. I think 6 goals this weekend he scored now. After the goal that he scored, I think it's 6 goals. Anyway, speaking about Belotti, speaking about the national team.
What a joke.
You guys just saw who has been called up for Italy's few friendly matches against Argentina and I think England. What do you guys think of the call-ups? There is big first, what do you guys think about the call-ups? And then I'll say what everybody wants to ask.
I will have kept Buffon home. I will have left Buffon stay home.
I don't know.
Oh
he's
my
gonna
God.
teach. He's gonna teach. He has a lot
He's
to
not going to
teach.
teach. If he's
He's a
starting the
philosopher.
game, if Buffon is starting the game, a lot of people are going to be very upset. Not because I don't want Buffon to play. It's time for him to step aside and let the young player, just
You're
get on
wrong.
the field.
You're
They
wrong.
need time to grow on the field. They need playing time, those guys. Buffon's got so much playing time. He's not even interested to play the European Championship. And 90% of the chances he's not playing on the European Championship. So why you bringing Buffon over there?
You're wrong.
I'm not wrong. I think
You're
this
wrong.
is...
What do you think?
I
About
think it's
and
a
not just, you don't
waste.
have to comment on the Buffon thing because we're still got to do a video.
I like
Buffon,
Cutrone, though.
can
I like
hear your
Ribra
opinion?
Cutrone. That's...
What do you think about the
If we're
call-ups?
talking about a new start, though,
What are you talking about the call-ups? I don't want to listen to you guys. New starters with Buffon.
Wait, no, Gaetano.
What's-
Yeah,
what's
go
your
with
thoughts on
Buffon.
Listen, until 5 minutes ago, I agree with him. I mean, why call Buffon for what? This is a new start. But then, now that you're saying about, I think the reason why they're doing it is this coach is not going to be the coach. This is just a transition. They're waiting to settle the whole federation. They're waiting to settle the president. They're waiting to settle the coach. And then maybe once they get the coach, they can start. So we're playing against Argentina. We're playing against England. So yeah, they want to have some kind of leadership on the field. I mean, if you're looking for the future, Buffon is not the future. So, but what are you looking for? You want it just for these 2 games, or until for another 2-3 months until they get the coach and they settle
2-3
it?
years.
The harsh reality.
2-3
is kicking
years.
in.
2-3 years.
Okay, listen, I'd call up Buffon, but not to start.
Listen,
to
if
teach
for
the
number
younger
one,
players.
you know how
Okay.
disrespectful it would be to not call up Buffon right now for everything that he's done.
I'm not
He's
saying
the
not to call
only
him up.
winner in this squad, and you're gonna do it before he even announces his retirement. It's extremely disrespectful for everything that.
Give me
And
a
he's
break.
still the best goalkeeper. Anyone you name is not better than Buffon. Everyone keeps saying, "Oh, but Marco, he declined." Buffon's decline is still the number 1 for every other goalkeeper out there. Even the best, every
Antonio.
goalkeeper on top of their form, that's Buffon's decline.
Antonio,
Buffon's decline
kill
is
him.
your best.
Antonio,
That's
kill
Buffon's
him.
decline. Anyway,
I give it to you for the next couple of games. You want to, it's respect for this, for what he has accomplished over his career.
his last game is going to be against
Okay.
Sweden. Give me a
You
break.
know,
Give me a break.
You want it, yeah, okay.
It was
You
that
want
Rossi's.
it.
It was that Rossi's.
That's
Why?
his decision.
So
That's
he should
decision.
go out with a win.
That's his
Listen, I will
decision.
not, Gaetano, I will not be
Okay.
surprised if they play him maybe for half a game.
What does this say?
They're
What
going to
is
play
this-
him for half a game and then they're going to let the young kids take over, because that will be really, really bad for anybody to watch an Italian game, even though there is no bearing on the game. I would be very disappointed.
You guys don't know Buffon.
Not to say
I don't know
Donnarumma
Buffon.
on the goalkeeping.
What does it say about a winner at 40 years old, still going this strong, still having the motivation to do this? His experience is everything. I don't want to get this conversation just about Buffon. I wanted to say that, is it bad that I'm not excited for the national team call-ups at all? I know over 400-500 comments on this, on our post on Instagram about this. Everybody excited, wants to see. I'm not excited a bit. I don't even want
You're not excited because there is no competition.
I don't even
Exactly.
want to
There's no
see. I don't
competition.
even want to see this team
Exactly.
play. I don't even want to see
You're
this
not
team play.
excited because those are friendly games.
Guys,
But even
Trying
on
to
a
change
friendly
my
game,
freaking mind.
Guys, let me throw a question
Screw
in here.
these friendlies.
Andrea Bellotti was called up. We know he's been having a bad season due to injuries, whatever. And Balotelli has not been called up. And one of the best seasons he ever had. I don't care if he plays
Listen,
in France.
everybody's
He's having a
afraid of
great season.
Balotelli. Everybody's afraid because
Why
they're going to
isn't
say,
he called
"Oh, why
up?
you bringing Balotelli with his mentality?" Everybody's afraid. They're not looking at the talent.
been years.
A lot of those guys, they never liked Cassano, but they were forced to bring Cassano into the national team because Cassano was the best talent said by Totti, okay, as one of the best midfielder in the world, not in Europe. That was said by Totti.
21 games, 6 goals for Belotti. 25 games, 21 goals for Balotelli.
Guys, you guys are going crazy over here.
I don't care.
We just
No, I don't
don't
care.
know.
I don't care.
You don't think he deserves it?
I don't want
Listen,
anybody
you
called
don't
up.
think-
I don't
okay,
want anybody
okay,
called up.
regardless, you don't think he deserves it?
I
over
don't
Belotti?
care. I don't like
I'm
any
asking
of
if you
them.
care.
I don't
I'm
like
asking-
any of
I'm
them.
saying if he deserves it. I'm asking if you
I
care.
do not care.
I want to see
I do
Cutrone.
not care.
I want
do
to see
not care.
Cutrone
I don't care
wearing
about
the Italian.
Cutrone.
I do.
I don't.
I
I
want
don't.
to see him wearing
I don't
the
care about
Italian
any of
national
them.
jersey and scoring 1 or 2 goals.
Gaetano.
Okay, I
Can
want
you
to see it. Yeah.
Gaetano, tell me, does
You guys are all nuts. Oh
Balotelli
my
deserve
God.
it? Tell me if he doesn't deserve it. I'm gonna go
Nobody
crazy. I'm
deserves
walking out of
it.
here if you say he
Nobody
doesn't deserve
deserves it. We shouldn't even
Okay.
play this game.
Why not?
Because we
We
shouldn't.
have-
You're not
We
gonna
have
move
to-
on. You're gonna
we
say
have-
No, no.
Okay, then what are you saying?
We have
We
to
shouldn't move
build
on.
the national team.
Build it off these stupid games.
We need to look 2 years from now at the European Cup.
You should be
okay,
the coach.
we
That's what I'm
need
talking
to
about.
set up these kids to play and to get the as much experience as they can on the international level. Some of these
And they're gonna do it in a friendly.
some of these
Yeah, get a
players,
star.
they haven't had too
Give me a
much
break.
experience international. You're playing against Argentina, who's going to be one of the top team
Yeah.
in the world, with some of the best players in the world. They might not have the best team in the world, but for sure they have some of the best forwards players in the world. So now you're measuring these kids against that level. You're measuring the kids against England, which is another good team. Okay, you want to throw a couple of veterans there, like Chiellini, like Bonucci, like Buffon, for a couple of games, for respect, for going out on a high note. I can buy that. I saw that point. Like I told you 5 minutes ago, I agreed with him wholeheartedly, because why is Buffon there? But I understand. You want respect for the guy. You want him to go
You guys
out
are all losers.
on a high note. Fine. But we have to build a team for 2 years from now.
I agree.
For the
But you need
European,
to do for the
for the European
future.
Cup
Buffon's gonna
and
be
for
there.
the World Cup and for years from now. That's why we got to
Mark, you
build
think
up the
Buffon's
team.
gonna be
So
there?
you have to
You
find
think the
out about
goalkeeper's
these
gonna
young
have him?
kids. What are they capable of? The more international games they play, the better it is.
Gaetano,
Listen,
wait,
Italian
before
national
you
team.
finish,
The only
just-
thing-
wait,
Well
wait,
said.
wait,
The more
1 second.
exposure
Okay,
they
let him
have, the
say.
better it
Let him
is.
say.
Gaetano, you said it perfectly. It's a future. Unfortunately, Buffon had a sensational career. I think he should
Okay.
just be there, teach the youth. Wait,
Okay,
let me
keep
finish.
moving. Move on.
And should Balotelli be called up instead of Belotti? Due to the numbers only.
Well, you don't go by numbers only.
Okay.
Okay.
But it's been 2-3
The-
years. since he's been
Balotelli
called up.
is also somebody that in the locker room is not the right person.
This was a long time ago, though.
Okay, so if he
How do
changed,
both of you know?
if he changed, then you could call him up. But knowing what I know about Balotelli and what happened in the locker room, if he's not mature, he should not be there. If he mature now and he grows up, yeah, why not?
Devil's
He's got
advocate.
the talent.
Devil's advocate. How do you know how he's going to be in the locker room if you don't call him up?
Because they know, the coaches know, they talk to the other coaches,
Yeah.
they talk to the players that are in the same, they know exactly what goes on.
Nice's president actually
in
said
the
like
locker
6
room,
months ago.
and they know what goes on in the discotheque after or before the game or after the game. They know what's going on.
Listen, can I say something? I am not, like I said, these call-ups, I don't care. I didn't need to see them. I don't even want to fight over them. You know what would make me excited? Not seeing Cutrone up there, Insigne. I like it. Yeah, okay. In the back of my mind. I just want to see an idea. I want to see a platform. I want to see a nice president come in. Then I'll cheer who says the right things, who builds for the future. These players who are going to flip-flop,
Okay,
who
but
we don't even have a coach.
Marco,
That's going to excite me.
no, you
This
have-
doesn't excite me.
You have to wait.
You have to
Because-
start,
we
you have
gotta
to
wait.
start some
Tell him,
You have to
Gaetano.
wait. These games were already probably scheduled
A long time ago.
long time ago because Italy was going to go in the World
Focus
Cup.
on getting a coach.
So why you play against Argentina? Because you want to see just before the World Cup where you stand. We're one of the best teams in the world. So these games were scheduled a long time ago. This was not scheduled now. And that's why.
cancel it.
But you need to wait for the coach. You know, they're begging Ancelotti. I saw the interview last night.
Bring
Tardelli-
Maldini on. Bring Del Piero on. Then I'll get excited.
You think they want to go?
Tardelli-
Then I'll get excited.
Tardelli-
Then I'll come on here and I'll be excited. I'll be praising. Not seeing these stupid players who every time they just keep flip-flopping. Every year we go from Euro 2016 on the high note. I get all my hopes up. Then we go to do what we did. It's just, there's no plan. It's just excitement over the call-ups. Excitement that this young Italian. Yes, it's good. But the big picture is always lost.
Okay,
Every
but-
single
Wait
time
a
it's
moment.
lost.
Let me ask you a question.
Go.
Who was on the net when we were eliminated by Sweden?
Buffon.
Thank you.
But
What?
you
Who
can't
was
play
at the
Buffon.
net in 2006 when we won the World Cup?
That was 2006.
Thank you.
How old was Buffon in 2006?
This is crazy.
Just as good as he is today.
No,
to be
he's
fair,
not.
Antonio,
No,
to
but
be
I
fair, it
guess
was one
not.
goal. and
How
it
is
was
that
a
even
penalty.
relevant?
Sweden,
How is that
he-
even relevant? How is that even relevant?
Against Sweden,
Antonio,
it was
deflected.
Was he
deflected.
not scoring the goals over 180 minutes? Why are we arguing over
No, we
Sweden?
can't. We
No,
can't say
no,
that.
you can't go back to Sweden.
No.
This is it's a built up. It's a built up, and the federation is not ready yet. They have no president. They have a commissioner. So you need some time to put things in order. They would love to have Ancelotti. I heard the interview last night, and he's not really. He didn't say no, but he didn't say yes. He left.
gonna go.
He's undecided, but. What he wants to do is he wants to coach. If you go to the national team, there's very little coaching to do. It's just a selection. You call everybody, you select them, you bring them there, and then you do a little because you don't see them that much. So he still wants to coach on a day-to-day basis. So I don't know. They talked about a couple of coaches. I'm hoping that we get the right coach. I mean, there was a
winner.
plan. There was a plan when Conte was there.
Yeah,
I mean,
what happened to that
when,
plan?
When Conte was there, I mean, the team was exciting. They were playing. We were winning.
And then, like we always do, we push ourselves into a bad corner by putting Ventura in charge.
So
This is the problem with Ventura is this. I'll tell you why. I'll tell you what the major problem with Ventura was. Ventura was never a player. Okay, even though he played maybe for some who knows.
Your other boy was
Does
not a
that
player
matter
either.
as much?
Mourinho wasn't a player.
Mourinho wasn't a player either.
I have a problem with that. I have to be sincere with you. Ancelotti was a great player. Conte was a great player. Capello was a great player. You can name it. I mean, all of those to me, the recipe
that
of
doesn't
success.
mean anything.
Maradona was a great player also.
Maradona was a great player. He was not
Great
a good
point.
coach.
Yeah, but wait, Ancelotti's been a good coach for Real Madrid. He's been a good coach.
It makes sense because
Right.
they're in the spotlight
Right,
a
right.
lot.
But they won Ancelotti.
That's what I'm saying. You have to have proof. Yeah, for me, you do not put players. You do not put people over there like Ventura that they never had a career.
But there was
stellar career.
That was a mistake.
Listen,
that was a big mistake.
Nesta's 42nd birthday today. Let's wish him a happy
Oh.
birthday. Hopefully, like you said afterwards, we don't know what he's up to now because with the NASL and all that stuff. I hope as a birthday present for him, something comes from the Italian national team and he could get somewhere in the organization.
I want Nesta to come and help Gattuso and being an assistant coach or a co-coach of Gattuso.
I would love to see that happen
I
again.
love that number 5. I'm telling you, I wear it all the time on my jersey.
You never wear it here.
Is it true?
Yeah, it's my number.
What's that?
My number 5. That's my favorite number.
I never seen you wear it in the studio though for the podcast.
Well, in Brazil, number 5 is the maestro in front of the defense.
Oh yeah, but that's what a Nesta was.
The
It was the real maestro.
I wanted.
Just one last thing. They were
Yeah.
talking about Allegri, Ancelotti, and Conte last night in the interview. Goes, Ancelotti and Allegri could be your coach for 10 years. He goes, Conte, no more than 3 years.
That's so
He
true.
He goes, because he's just too much, too
draining.
draining on the players.
Hey, Conte's
I thought it was
It's
interesting. But I tell you one thing, that if things don't work out with Allegri, you never know. He could be the next national team coach.
Okay, I'd like to see that.
He would lose his mind if Allegri becomes the coach. He would lose his mind.
Man, Allegri was never a great player.
Or
Never.
But he's a great coach.
Great coach. Give me the great player. I'll show you what a great coach does.
guys, I want to wish you happy International Father's Day.
In Italy.
Thank
because
you.
we got our favorite father and son duo over here. Did you ever realize that they look alike? You know who this is, right, Anto?
Yeah.
It's Allegri and
Bonaventura.
Giacomo
They
Bonaventura.
don't look that much alike.
They don't
You
look alike?
serious? They look like father and son. Gaetano, come on.
Yeah,
Are you
yeah,
kidding
they
me?
do.
They
Jack has got a lot more talent.
look alike. Anyway, this podcast was crazy, guys. Don't forget the Calcetto team. Let's see if Antonio wins.
Please,
Continues
someone
his
vote for me.
winning
I'm going to have
streak.
to make 3 accounts today.
Remember, I got the most talented guy in Serie A. So
And I got the
vote
most
for
points.
me.
And I got Manolas.
And I have the best team. You can have the most talent. I got it. All right, guys.
Guys, don't forget to rate the podcast, okay?
Remember it again. Guys, as always, thank you for watching, and we'll talk to you soon.
Ciao,
ragazzi.
guys.